Good evening, investors. Tonight I want to talk to you about the stock chart for Ttdz, Triton Distribution Systems Incorporated, which is an OTC Markets traded stock. So the first thing I really want to talk about with this company is that they recently got a new CEO. His name is Mr. Robert Culkin, and he is very well known and renowned in the medical marijuana industry for being a best-selling author for a medical marijuana book. And he also started a cannabis school, so this guy really knows his stuff when he's talking about medical marijuana. And he's the, in my opinion, perfect candidate to run a company that centers on the marijuana industry. So with that in mind, we've got fundamental potential upside here. We've got plenty of potential for catalysts to come from that fundamental side of things, and the chart is looking great. But before I start talking about the Ttdz chart, I want to actually talk about a couple of other marijuana stock charts that had similar setups beforehand. So let's talk about PHOT, Grow Life Incorporated, which is another OTC Markets traded stock. You'll see that this came from below 5 cents, trading down there, all the way up to crossing in almost 80 cents, 77.5 cents up here at highs. Now, what I want to point out as similar points of interest on these charts is you'll notice firstly the huge accumulation just from looking at the overall volume mixed with the massive gains, but also look how the stock moved up. You'll see like giant moves up followed by a couple small days down, and that trend just follows the entire way up this chart. You can still see it, it's still kind of happening. Now when you look at the Ttdz chart, you'll see the same thing. Look at all this upside here. I mean, for example, starting here, you know, look up, you know, a couple days down, right back up, a couple days down, and you've got similar action all the way up this chart. So it's kind of following that pattern to a T. And that's something that's really interesting here because we're only trading at still 3.96 cents. That's very, very low compared to PHOT's almost 80 cents. The other chart I want to mention really quickly is MJNA. You'll see again kind of similar action with this kind of stair-stepping action here. It's in a consolidation point right now, but you'll see again that this stock came down from really similar price ranges as Ttdz back in 2012, early 2013. So MJNA, another similar kind of company here, and it made huge moves, currently trading at about 28 cents, and it hit highs of almost 50 cents. So there's huge potential in this medical marijuana industry and the adult use marijuana industry right now as well. So with all that said, great fundamental outlook, but let's start talking about the stock chart. So you'll notice that the RSI is currently sitting in the overbought category, and sometimes that could be seen as a sign that the stock needs correction, but there are a few reasons I don't think that it's going to be happening just yet. You'll notice looking back at the history here, this stock can hang into this overbought range for quite a while before it comes back down. If you look here, it lasted almost a whole month in that overbought range before it kind of corrected down, and we are not even near a month yet in the overbought range. We're still seeing it strengthen, it's still spiking up, it's still looking really good in terms of the RSI, and it actually shows that there's a lot of strength here, a lot of momentum. Nextly, I want to point out that we've currently got a 13-day exponential moving average breakout. You'll see that when the price hits this 13 EMA line, it tends to bounce up really hard, and we recently tapped down here right there, and here we are getting this breakout again, and we tapped out right here, and again we got a nice breakout, and it's showing signs that it's going to continue. We closed above the previous day's high on Friday, so it's looking very strong still here at 0.0396. Now we've also got a very nice golden crossover that's been holding since all the way back in August here. As you can see, the short-term momentum has come, and it really hasn't left this stock. There's been a lot of buying pressure, a lot of accumulation, and that leads me to the next point I want to talk about, accumulation. You can see just from looking at the giant green volume bars here, compared to the much smaller red volume bars, there's been a lot of accumulation. Now, some other indicators that point that out are also the Accum-Dist line and the OBV, which are both spiking up in agreement, showing that the volume backs up the accumulation and the gains, and it makes it significant. Now you've also got your CMF, your Chaikin money flow, spiking up still. It's at 0.291. 0.2 is what we consider bullish, and 0.4 is what we consider extremely bullish. We're just 0.10 away from that. We're getting very close to that extremely bullish territory, and again, we're just showing a lot of accumulation here. Now let's talk about some short-term momentum. So coming down to this MACD indicator, you'll see that we got this bullish crossover here, and it has actually held above for all this time since early March, and it's really holding that crossover, and it's actually spreading. You can see that we've spread away from that line in growing amounts here, and now we are way above it. That's just showing that the short-term momentum here is very, very bullish. It's very, very strong as it continues to spread. You can see on this histogram here just how strong it's getting with this nice spike up. Now going to the tricks indicator, on this one we just got our bullish crossover right here towards the end of March. So we are just now starting to see some spread there, both lines curling up. That's also showing short-term momentum. Now another short-term momentum indicator is the Williams %R indicator. You'll see right here, this is sitting in the overbought category, and it's been fluctuating within this range. You can see this nice fluctuation action that we've been getting. That is the bullish signal for this indicator. You like to see this kind of fluctuating up in this overbought category. You like to see it stay above that -20 line versus coming down here and tapping the 50. You like to see this just fluctuating as high as possible. And being in this overbought range is perfect. It shows that there's also a lot of short-term momentum. So just to recap here, we've got all short-term momentum indicators spiking right now. We've got the bullish crossover on the tricks and the MACD. Both of them are spreading continually, and the Williams %R is fluctuating in its bullish zone as well. Our accumulation indicators are all spiking up in agreement as well, which shows that the accumulation should continue, and it has been strong lately. Now let's talk about just a couple of trend indicators really quickly. You'll see that the par star, which are these little red dots here, is currently below the price per share. That is a bullish signal. It's giving the buy signal as far as that indicator goes. And the par star was invented by the same guy that actually created the ADX line down here. And that's a trend strength indicator. So you'll see the blue line here is actually the trend strength. Anything above 20 is considered to be a relevant trend, and as you can see, we are currently at almost 50 and still curling back up. You can see that we've kind of weakened on our uptrend, but it's starting to curl back up here. It's showing that the trend is actually gaining strength here. Now you'll notice that the plus DI line is actually above the minus DI line here, which is showing that it's a bullish trend, and that is confirmed by that par star being underneath the price per share. So we've got a nice bullish trend formed here, and it's strengthening. Great short-term momentum and great accumulation. I like the chart for Ttdz. Now, as my little disclaimer here, I am not a financial professional, and this video should be viewed for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for watching, and good luck trading.